Hey guys, this is actually my third time doing a presentation here. I've done one on advertising and I've done one on design. And today we're going to talk mostly about design, but really about brand creation, because it's a combination of using all the large language models and all the image generating platforms to create a brand. And instead of just showing you a deck, I decided to just go for it today and jump you right into an actual product demo so you can kind of see it. But this one, instead of waiting for all the prompts, actually did this demo this morning and it's pretty much already in the system. So I'm going to run you through the whole thing and try and get through it in 20 minutes so we can do some Q&A. And just a show of hands, how many people are using Meta AI? Anybody using Meta? Great. I love it. I'm pretty much a Mid-Journey person, but I use DALL-E and I use Meta now. And I teach at the Academy of Art University right across the street. I teach a bunch of AI classes there, which has been somewhat controversial because over the course of the last year and a half or so, a lot of artists think that AI is cheating. But if you're good at prompting, it's basically the same thing as just pulling scrap like we used to do, making mood boards and doing sketching. So I'm going to create a brand from scratch right now. And I just made this brand up the other day just for a demo. And I thought I would share it with you. So here's my prompt. I'm in Meta AI. And by the way, Meta AI is a product of Facebook. You can sign in with your Facebook credentials. It's free. And it's very much like ChatGPT 4.0 and DALL-E together, all in one platform. Do all your talking and all your designing without jumping around. So for first timers, early AI users, this thing is awesome. So here's my prompt. Let's create a new brand of sunglasses. The company makes high quality fashion sunglasses and sells online only. The glasses will be sustainable as the frames are made from recycled soda bottles. We will do small limited edition releases of 1,000 pairs per release, and the design will be unique for that release. Thus, the limited edition nature of this will create scarcity and collectability, making the glasses into conversation pieces and adding to the viral marketing of the brand. For every batch we release, we will provide free glasses to inner city kids who can't afford glasses. Wow. I think I stole from like Tom's and a bunch of other brands. Anyway, it's kind of a fictitious brand. So what's really interesting is it writes an entire write-up of essentially the strategy for the brand, even though I haven't asked it to do that yet. So I won't read all that, but it's got the key features, the brand personality, the marketing strategy, the packaging and unboxing experience, the website, and a launch plan. So I asked it to do a product description because I want to know what this product's actually going to look like, what it's going to be. It wrote an intro and it wrote 6 descriptions of the products with full-on descriptions and pricing, which is hilarious, and naming for the products. So I'm going to skip over that and I'm going to go, let's write a short, succinct brand strategy. My experience with ChatGPT is it'll write like 5 pages of strategy if you let it. So let's just keep it short and succinct. Now it's already named this brand for me. I'm going to do some brand naming here, but it called it Verde View. We'll just use it as a placeholder. But it's done a mission, a vision, and a values statement. It's given us a brand purpose, a target audience, demographics, market trends, and a UVP, the unique value proposition, a marketing strategy, a competitive landscape, all of that without much of a prompt. So if you're a designer, this is great because as we all know, getting a strategy and a creative brief from the marketing team is very difficult. Now you might get it, but it might be totally useless and you might have to redo it yourself. Many times we have to rewrite our own creative briefs because our client sends an email saying, help, I need an ad campaign or I need a logo, and that's about all they send. So this is really fantastic for level setting. What I do in here is I'll copy this out, put it in a nice formatted Word document, and send it back to my client for approval. Makes me look smart, makes me also like a part of their team. They're like, oh, look, we have a creative brief now. So don't ever undervalue this part of the process. Then I ask it to write a creative brief because our team needs that. What if I'm sharing this out with the designers? I've got this whole creative brief done. Amazing. I did some brand naming. Hey, let's do some brand naming. I mean, what's our logo going to look like? What are we doing here? So it's got all the names. I'm going to skip over all those. And then we need to do some mock-ups of the product. And so I asked it to help us with that. It gave me a whole plan about how to do the mock-ups. I'm like, that's crazy. I don't quite need that. Okay, let's do this other exercise. Let's write a 140-word mini mantra about the brand that we just created, because I don't like to read all those pages and copy and paste all that crap. 140 words is all I can handle. Boom. It says Vista Vibes, which is just sort of the working title we're using now. Elevate your view. It wrote a beautiful little 140-word mini mantra. And then now I say, let's come up with a series of stunning visuals for our outdoor campaign. These images will be photographed by a top fashion photographer who typically shoots high fashion, sports, lifestyle, and celebrities. Our models will be photographed in tight close-ups to showcase the details of our unique modern sunglasses, and the look will be slightly less than perfect. Our models will have more of a street fashion vibe and reflect the look and feel of the 30-somethings who live in Williamsburg, New York. Render the first series of images and use bold, bright colored backgrounds in these images. Okay, that's a prompt. I made that up. I was just riffing. I have no idea, but here we go. Normally, I would do this in Midjourney. Midjourney's the best for fashion photography. It always does a great job with this. It's not to say that I haven't done this exercise in Midjourney. We can hop over to my Midjourney. You can see I'm an alpha user, so I've got Midjourney Alpha. Hey, look, there's the sunglasses on this really interesting looking couple. But we're going to stick in Meta, and we're going to do this. Now, I've really actually never done this exercise up until like a week ago in Meta. So I was really blown away by the quality of these images. I mean, these are Midjourney level images, and I didn't really have to do very much to get there. Midjourney, as you know, can be painful. Any Midjourney people here? Anybody Midjourney Alpha? Okay, well, you have to make like a lot of images to get to there. But look at this image. Look at the quality of this. I'm blown away. And one of the things that I think we all have to remember as creatives is this is like the same thing you would have done to make mood boards or go to Pinterest or go grab scrap off photographers' websites and try and cobble together some direction for your art direction. Now, if I'm going to go shoot this and I send this in a board to my photographer and they show it to their stylist, guess what's going to happen? We're going to get the colored backgrounds on set. This is even like for casting. And I didn't really like the casting on here. So I kept going and I said, make the hair less perfect. I don't want my models to be perfect. And so I wanted messy hair, which is a prompt I use in Midjourney all the time. I'm liking this a lot. This is great. Okay, so I'm getting my mood boards together. And one of the things we all know about Midjourney and ChatGPT for sure, and it's now true with Meta, is it's not great with ethnic diversity. So I said, let's try more ethnic diversity and let's see what we got. Awesome. Like, I'm ready to go. These are great images. So I did a few more. I tried to get it a little more street, a little bit more out in the world, a little bit better shadows, just to see what I could do, playing around with this. And when you get in here and you do some modifications, you'll see that you get a lot of different boards. You can go in, you can hit the regenerate and get some more things. So we've got our sunglass brand strategy. We've got a creative brief. We've got a mini mantra. We've actually got product descriptions. We've got photography. What else do we need? A logo. Okay. Meta AI. Is it good at logos? No. It's not great with typography. It's not great with logos. But I just had kind of a wild hair to go, maybe I'll do like a laughing tiger as the logo. And it came up with these. And I was like, okay, well, not exactly what I wanted, but I'm willing to accept that, knowing that I can probably go over and get that done, maybe over in DALL-E over here. Oh, wow, look. DALL-E's pretty good at the tiger logo with the sunglasses. So typically I would have known that and I wouldn't have even tried it in Meta, but hey, we're here to experiment. We want to see what Meta can do. To be honest, yeah. Some of the coolest stuff comes out of DALL-E when you do logo work. I've actually sold a couple of logos out of DALL-E to clients, took them into Adobe Illustrator, cleaned them up, vectorized, fixed some things, put some type on it, done, out the door. So it can be done. But let's get back to our Meta AI. We're going to try and do some renderings of the glasses in a studio setup. So if anybody's here is on catalog work or websites and you got to go do product photography, this is what you're going to do. And the photographer is going to want you to pull some scraps and show you some images. Hey, how do you want to shoot this? So for the art directors here, this is a great tool. You can show the glasses in the studio setup. It's kind of cool. There's a few hallucinations in here, which always are amusing, but pretty good. This was like the prompt was shoot them on a white plexiglass background, kind of, Apple style. And then I wanted to see if I could put it into some like green grass setups, sort of a nod to our sustainability, see if I could do something a little more interesting. Okay, so now I've got photography on models, lifestyle. Now I've got product photography, playing around with some different models, seeing if I could do some wood frames out in the world. Actually pretty good on these ones. Not bad. So we're just cruising along, and then we want to do some illustration. So if you know Warby Parker as a brand, or brands like Casper, other brands that are out there in the world, they have their whole suite of photography, but they use illustration also. So I wanted to do some illustration, and I'll give you my prompt here because this is kind of a weird prompt. And by the way, Meta can animate your images, which is really cool trick, especially if you're doing TV storyboards and you want to animate all your images and make an animated storyboard. So I said, help us create an illustration style for our sustainable sunglasses brand. These should be retro 1970s style cartoons of urban hipsters with neon pink, vibrant orange, powder blue, and cricket green color palette. There will be funky characters walking around in our unique sunglasses with our signature funky colored lenses. There will be people walking around the streets of Brooklyn, New York, and lots of dogs and friendly hipsters. This is a classic scene from Williamsburg, New York. So I don't know where I came up with that. I was just in Williamsburg, so I thought maybe that's a cool prompt for this. So the thing is, you get a bunch of images, and then you get them like this, and then you can click on it, and you can hit the animate button. And even if this is only just for your self-amusement, this is hilarious. I love doing this. It doesn't take very long. And honestly, what a cool thing if you were doing like some work for your Instagram feed and you wanted to just put this in there. I think this shows off some really cool stuff. Here's a few more. I didn't want to go too deep down this rabbit hole because honestly, I might do these over in DALL-E, but I wanted to see what Meta AI could do. And then I was like, wow, I actually kind of really like this image. Pretty cool. So moving on, trying to keep this under 20 minutes. Hey, I love this trick when I'm using chat, so why not try it in Meta AI? Write 7 Instagram posts for these images. Focus on the people, the place, and the product. Includes headlines, image, body copy, call to action, and hashtags. I love this trick in chat, and guess what? Meta does not disappoint in writing this for me. But this is like a script for maybe your content creation team. It's given me the image description, which is very similar to what I just showed you of those people in the Williamsburg hipster thing. So it's got that, and now it's given me headlines, body copy, hashtags, and call to action. I love the call to action in here. It's given me a shop now and use City 20 for 20% off. Like, how thoughtful of it. Wow. Amazing. So it's got that. And then I wanted to write some headlines. Now, anybody that uses ChatGPT knows chat's not so great with headlines. You can trick it. You can say, write some bumper stickers or write some t-shirt slogans or write some taglines for something else, or write some clever tweets. It'll get there. But Meta's a little more casual when it comes to doing this. It's a little more real. I don't know how they got it to do that. And I didn't give it much of a prompt, but I'm trusting that it knows the strategy that we wrote. It trusts me that it knows the creative brief and a little bit of what we've done. And guess what? It did a pretty decent job. So now I've got, shade your face, not the planet, recycle your style. I've got some stuff to work with. Nothing worse than being a designer and your copywriter hasn't given you lines to work with and you're trying to do some packaging or some headlines, some posters, and you don't have anything. Hey, now you can. I did some other stuff in here that was kind of a fail. But by the way, as we all know, if you're doing AI, plenty of failures. They're just called experiments, not failures. But I got some weird stuff in here and probably not going to put those into the mood boards, but it was kind of fun to do. And then I had this just other weird idea. Sometimes instead of doing models or illustrations, I like to just mix it up and do weird things. And I thought, wow, why don't I just put dogs wearing the sunglasses? Like, you never seen that one before. So I put a dog wearing a bespoke suit and super hipster colorful sunglasses. And I actually really like having this in the toolkit. As a creative director, I'd love to give this whole entire thread to my design team. They've now got like headlines and imagery and illustrations and, starters on the logo kit. Okay, so we're designers. Can we do more with this? I've written out some more tools here for the team. I was reworking sort of the strategy and the brief. I changed the name of the company to Serious Shade because I thought that was funny. It was somewhere in all the writings. And I thought, that's a little more ironic. Let's call it Serious Shade. I was asked this morning in my presentation if Meta AI could write a pitch deck. If this is a startup brand and we want to go get funding, can it do a pitch deck? I said, I can do it in chat. I'm guessing I can do it in Meta AI. So here we go. With this minimal prompt, rework this as a marketing present. Oh, let me go back. I'm going to go back one. I did it as a pitch deck first. Create a pitch deck with a cover page, intro, strategy, brief, products, logo, ads, etc. Include the key points for the marketing launch of this brand. So pitch deck. It didn't have the brand name, so it said insert brand name, but it pretty much knew everything about the tagline, recycle your style. It's got illustrations, it's got images, it's got an intro, problem, statement, solution, strategy, brand identity, products, marketing brief, advertising, influencer partnerships. Wow, how cool is that? The launch timeline, a budget allocation, and the conclusion. Pretty smart. It didn't, it knows what a pitch deck is. If my design team needed to go make a pitch deck and I gave them that, they've got all the images. They can plus this out and they would be ready to go. Think about how much easier my life is if I can just hand this off to the design team. They don't really even need a writer right now because it's done a lot of that. But even if I have a writer on my team, I'm going to hand this to the writer and say, hey, get going and write out more of this. This is your starter kit. They looked at the pitch deck and they said, no. We want this as a marketing presentation. Let's assume that we've got all the funding. Let's go and present this as a marketing deck. So I rewrote it and I gave it the name Serious Shade. So now it knows the company name is Serious Shade. And it did a whole total marketing deck, similar to the pitch deck, a little different with some of that stuff, but it's all there. And then what happens a lot of times is you look at these decks and they only have a few words on them. If you wanted to get deeper into it, you could ask it to give you a detailed 3-month schedule for the team, include details, budgets, and deliverables. Like, how the hell is it going to do that? Well, guess what? It did. It put the whole budget together and the plan. It's got the budget breakdown, the deliverables, and the timing, everything that I would have to go to the marketing team. No offense if anybody's on the account or marketing side, but I just did your job for you. And then I asked it to do a photo shoot budget. It was poorly representing the photo shoot budget. I actually just did a photo shoot budget today that was for a 3-day shoot, and it's more like $150,000. And this one came in at like $13,000. So check the math, make sure everything's in there because you can't really trust it to know everything. But here's another really great trick that you could use if you're storyboarding a photo shoot or storyboarding a TV spot. Ask it to write a 12-frame storyboard. I said this one with cartoon characters and give me the image suggestions and the voiceover for each frame. This is actually what we do in my classroom across the street. We do these images, we animate them, we drag them into like iMovie or After Effects. We put voiceover and music on it, and we make TV spots, which if you're an agency person, they call those like rip-o-matics or animatics, but you can do it with this method. So it just wrote the 12 frames. It gave me image descriptions, the voiceover. I could go over to 11 Labs and get the voiceover done. I could get all the images out of here and animate them and assemble it. Honestly, you could probably do this whole spot in under an hour. So there it is. There's a whole spot. Couple more illustrations I was trying to do out of those, a few more sunglass renders, a few more images for the deck just to show off that we can do this. And then after I did the headlines and the taglines, I wanted to see if Meta could do packaging. Now, I know that Midjourney and DALL-E can do packaging. I was a little nervous about this whole Meta thing. I'm not going to promise any greatness, but it did take a whack at it. We're going to look at a few things here. I mean, it's not horrible. You could put your logo in there and do what you got to do, but it's not really what I wanted. So I'm going to just scoot really fast through here and just show you that I wanted it to be more recycled. I wanted it to be better. I wanted more recycling in here. Come on, show me that it's recycled. Didn't like those prompts, did something weird. Kept going. Boom. I actually really like this. It kind of looks like it was done with a Sharpie on a cardboard box. The vibe is really cool. I should probably just leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, this is to me, I'm on AI anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day, mostly Midjourney, mostly chat. I do jump over to Firefly. Guess what? Firefly can do your logo too. Don't know if anybody uses Firefly, but you can do a lot in Firefly. You can do a lot in Midjourney. I got some beautiful packaging, but I'm going to say right now, what I'm seeing in Meta AI is pretty mind-blowing. If you're willing to take on the prompting and the failures and just blast through it, this really only takes a short amount of time. When I did this demo this morning, I did it live. I had all my prompts in a Word doc, and I just cut and pasted them in so I didn't have to do my bad typing and all my typos. But it blasted it through. We did it in under an hour, and it just goes to show you, if you know prompting, if you have a concept, if you can write it down or get some bullet points. Even some of the prompting I showed you today was mediocre. I mean, I'm going to say those were mediocre prompts, but I got pretty great results. And I will hand it to the fact that strategy, creative briefs, and all that priming of the pump, it's like warming up before you exercise. If you go to the gym, you don't just jump in and grab the heaviest weights. You got to get warmed up. And warming it up is the key. So if you're a designer and you're like, oh, I'm just going to go make logos and packaging, that's not the process. The process is training your AI so that it knows what you want to do. It knows the intent. And then when you go to do prompting, you don't have to go so deep. You're going to have some missteps. You're going to have some revisions. You're going to have to accept the failures and just roll with the punches. But you see how I went along this path. I got some pretty great results on photography, some pretty great results on packaging. Essentially, I think I could go forward and pitch this brand to somebody, like, put the deck together and go out with it as is. I don't have to spend weeks or months on it. If you guys are designers and you know what this process is, then this would essentially be your mood boards for everything you're working on, and you could go send your team out to go get this stuff all done. But you could move forward with this after essentially, an hour's worth of work. So that's my presentation for today. And I'm just really stoked that you guys got to see Meta AI, because it seems like a lot of people aren't using it. And I should probably get a kickback from Meta for doing this presentation, but I just want to say I love this tool. I think it's a groundbreaking tool for anybody that's had to suffer through a lot of, Discord and Midjourney stuff. And I think also you're going to find that this is only the beginning for all of AI. We're like a baby in diapers right now. We are just getting started. So 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, all of this is going to be different. I promise I'll come back and do it again. But that's it. That's what I got for you today. About 2 years ago, the Academy of Art University asked me if I could teach a class on talk. because I was doing a lot of that for my clients. And it was just the soup du jour. It was just kind of the cool thing to do TikToks. I don't really talk about it that much anymore, but I still do it. But when they asked me to do that, it was 2 years ago, and AI was still just getting going. And I realized that a lot of students didn't have strategic thinking. So I would rewrite their brief, I'd do their strategy in their brief and go, look, if you follow this, you're going to be a lot better. And then I said, do you have a copywriting partner? How are you doing this? Let's do some copywriting. And then I was like, oh my God, let's jump into Midjourney and let's do some images. Like, why are we pulling stuff off Shutterstock or Adobe Stock or Unsplash? Let's make our own and let's be art directors. Let's make cool stuff. So what we did was we started revamping all the portfolios, and I did kind of a weird thing. I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I wrote a syllabus using ChatGPT about what this course would be. And I emailed it to the president of the school, and I didn't follow the protocol. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is a class I want to teach. And it's called AI for Advertising. And in that class, we do copywriting, we do art direction, we do storyboarding. And I've been teaching that class now for just over a year and hugely successful. And now I've just got 3 more classes coming out. AI for design, AI for everyone, which is kind of like what we just did here. And then another higher level one that's called AI empowerment for creativity. I did not name that one, but the president of the school said, can you write some more AI classes? And essentially what that means is you could take the class online or you could take it in the classroom. And those classes are meant to show you a lot of what we just did here, but specifically there's advertising ones, there's design ones. What we saw in this one was really, if you're a marketer, you could be, on the account team and take this class and really, really, learn your thing. But what the president of the school is driving towards is she wants there to be an MFA in AI for creatives. And I took it as a huge compliment that she wants me to create all these classes, but essentially it's like writing a 15-chapter book with about 3,000 words per chapter. And now this summer, I wrote 2 of those books. And last spring, I wrote one. And then last fall, I wrote one. So I've written 4 books on AI now. They own them. I would like to publish them some other way, but it's been a real crazy moment, because I had to do what you just saw to create the classes. Okay, I'll do a brand invention class. And in that one, we did a fake ice cream company, a fake sunglasses company, a fake, just fake, all these different brands and companies that I came up with. So those classes haven't actually, the AI for everyone class hasn't started yet, starts in September. But honestly, this is, I think, this is the first school that's teaching AI creative things. If you see Stanford or MIT or even, any school that's teaching AI, they're teaching the data side. Nobody's really teaching this yet. It's just too early. And I know teachers at other schools around the country, and they're showing me what they're doing. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. So what you saw here is really the first time nobody's actually seen this class that's going to come online in September. You guys are the first ones to see it. But I do think that what's going to happen is there is going to be a tsunami wave of AI stuff going on. But, I feel like I can be a little bit of a snob about it, because if you're really good at Midjourney or you're really good at DALL-E, that's great. But are you using it in your day-to-day? Is it in your workflow? And so my other side hustle is I'm teaching ad agencies and marketing departments and in-house creative departments how to use this. So my talk this morning was showing this demo to a corporate client that owns about 20 brands. I won't say their name, but they have 30 designers that were on the call, and they're all trying to learn how to do this. And who is going to teach ad agencies and marketing departments and creative in-house departments how to do this? It's a huge obligation to figure it out. And as much as it's a powerful tool, they don't know how to get it in the workflow because they've got budgets for their projects, but you want to burn client dollars on your team floundering around and maybe not getting there. So we're still, like I said, we're like a baby in diapers on this. You could take university classes. You could keep coming back to these talks and get more teaching on this. If you're a working professional at a high level, I'd be happy to talk to you because I've actually got some clients from these very workshops, and some of them are really bizarre. They want me to talk about real estate. They want me to talk about, cybersecurity, whatever. But somehow there's always a relevant piece to this of how it could work with your team or your company. So yeah.